pressure-free. Vici Gaming able to trounce OMG in game 1 of their series, but we'll see this time if OMG are able to fight back. Still Niberia, still joined by Raz. That last series, or that last game, was it was a little bit fun. A little bit fun there, but OMG are looking to shape up. They had a lot of problems with having a concise plan. They weren't executing well. They had little good plays that they made, but overall Vici just showed far superior macro.
Yeah, I loved it from Vici. I think Vici coming in this fashion, not only just through macro, but I'm just talking about like the highlight kicks coming in from Lissandra. Like that was real fun to see. And it was the Gangplank coming in too. I think the Gangplank ultimate probably got him that MVP coming in forward. So yeah, MVP going towards ZZZ. Congratulations to him. Like I remember talking about this, how I wanted the Lee Sin to get it, but when you have 40% of your team's damage, then you know what, guess what? Especially when you have 4 people on top of you and you still somehow survive, you were close to being able to 1v4. Yeah, he's going to end up picking it up for himself.
0 deaths as well. I mean, I just got to say, when you're talking about, if someone ever tells you, someone in bronze or silver or something, it's just like, hey, item builds don't matter. That Maul of Malmortia's put in work.
Yeah, I mean, he was so far ahead that I think the Triforce itself put in work. Like
everything put in work at that
There's
point.
no way that Kalista was able to get close to actually putting in the damage. He wanted to be able to get the Ren stacks up there, but every single time he hit number 5, it was like, wait a second. I'm losing my HP bar. I actually have to get out of here. And I felt like it was actually really good from the side of Ix and Jay, who were always leading towards that side of the map. So if he was ever in that bad of a position, well, I'm just going to go up and join them. Or that one instance when they were taking Baron Nashor and ZDZ says, you just do you guys. I actually could do this on my own. So I think the communication for that game was real proper.
I'll do me, you do you, and ZDZ came out on top of that. Off of the back of that one, though, OMG were looking to put in a substitution.
There we
They've
go.
subbed out Ala, and they've put in Xiyang there. And I personally don't feel like the problem was Ala that game.
Of course not. I mean, a lot of the times when you make the decision to put in a player, it's not because a player was that problem. Like, for instance, RNG or Invictus Gaming, they'll put in a player just because the idea of a fresher mindset or the idea of, you know, just putting in more hours and miles on a player. Xiyang came in fairly late in this play. I'd say week 3, week 4, around there. Hasn't seen nearly as much playtime as Ale, but what we got to see from him is a lot more coordinated play from the team in the top side of the map. I think this was one of the most coordinated early games from Ale, so I will agree with you in the sense that, I mean, if Ale is rolling like that, why not continue to play him? In fact, was playing tanks throughout the early portions of this week really well. His Scion games are good. But, you know, if you get into a point where this is potentially your last game, then got to throw out Xiyang. I would like to see Xiyang play a game before the split is done.
This is going to be his opportunity this time, and maybe this will be the cohesion that OMG were lacking, but Vici, they really are very happy after that last game. They had very clean macro. They just need to clean it up. A little bit of decision-making was the flop for them. We talked about there were some plays where they just seemed to not know exactly what to do next, and that's a lot of their inexperience showing.
Yeah, I mean, there's not knowing what to do to score, or at least having a good idea, but not necessarily following up on it. And a lot of those, I think we saw that from both ends, which is why mid-game was actually one of the more messier parts, because you get to see both these teams say, okay, now I need to know I need to go get the vision control. Right? Vision control on the side of the map when you have pressure out there, most important part, but you start to see members like Braum actually getting caught on the bottom side of the map and end up dying there. The same thing happened in the opposite end, and then OMG started looking for picks on the bottom side of the map when they had a composition that was so centered around the Baron Nashor. So a lot of that, I am so certain the coach is going to be telling them, when you guys have pressure early on, or even if you can, you know, don't have the goal lead, don't have that pressure, but find a team fight like OMG did that gives you that pressure. Start to nail those control wards towards the Baron pit, and then use your Jarvin and Vladimir to a certain degree to make picks across the top side of the map, because Jarvin's essentially going to be an ult bot, and then Vladimir should always coming through a flank position. So those are plays that teams in the 8th place and up will be looking for fairly consistently, and OMG needs to start hitting that.
Yeah, the vision control playing more towards their composition. But let's talk about Vici, because we've been saying they need to clean it up. It's a little bit of decision making. Is there anything individually where you want to see a player pulling out more, maybe a change in picks or something?
Xiyang coming in, I know he actually has a real surprising... I mean, Yorick has been a pick that's not been surprising at the split, but his Yorick, for me, has been impressive. I want to see him pick it up. A lot of that gives him laning pressure, and even if there's a skirmish happening towards the Baron pit, we've seen a lot of Yorks just end the game or at least start wreaking havoc towards the objectives bottom line. So it gives you a different dynamic on your team. OMG ends up choosing red side on this one, so I want to see what they can make of it.
Get 2 picks this time in the first round, and it looks like Vici want to take away the Vayne. They had a lot of success with it last game, so they don't want to give that opportunity over to OMG, but OMG are sticking with those bans. They feel they're tried and true with the Kog'Maw, Rek'Sai, and Sylas.
No Kog'Maw. We had that discussion earlier on, and OMG's going to keep those bans there. That being said, for Vici Gaming, I think they wouldn't want to change a dang thing. Like, Lissandra was so successful in the first game. The only thing, if I'm Icon, that I want to be able to do into it, maybe you end up picking the LeBlanc anyways, even though we've seen the matchup just start to stagnate. Or you just go back towards, what, Cassiopeia, a Riven, the Vayne that he's been seeing. No Vayne, of course, because it gets banned here. Sad face. But I'm still liking the Riven and the... Oh, I can't even hit the LeBlanc because it got banned. I just keep looking at these bans, and I'm liking what Vici Game's doing.
Well, we hit 2 out of the 3 bans that OMG can't do, but that's a good sign from Vici, you know?
Yeah.
They know what they're doing in their draft.
It's funny that 2 of these bans end up targeting Icon. I know Chelly has a Vayne in him, but Icon was the one who in the last series that he played ended up taking the Vayne, got himself a quadra kill. There's a lot of playmaking that Icon could do on it, so it felt like that team also had a lot of focus. They had a goal in mind when they had it from early to mid game. So if your entire purpose is to be able to protect Icon, at that point there's your direction, your composition.
And now this pick ban is looking almost identical to the last one, at least until the 80 carry comes out, because OMG, once again, pick up the Jarvin, pick up the Kalista. And there, this is the Ezreal for Vici.
All right, Ezreal. All right. Remember, this is 9.5 Ezreal, meaning the tier is still stacking, still picking up double tier in this one. So Vici Gaming still have a really good later game picking up Lee Sin too. We already saw Ix, who, for us on the desk, man, he picked up MVP for us. Of course, official MVP for game 1 went to ZDZ, but he was styling earlier on, so why not keep him red hot?
Yeah, MVP of our hearts, yes, if you will. Oh, okay. Galio potentially coming out for OMG. It's a lot of good engage if they want to send it down into the bottom lane with that Kalista. It was banned out last time.
And if you just have like a Jarvin Galio in your composition, that's the direction a lot of the teams have been struggling to pick up wins, and team fights would love to pick up for themselves. You have Xiyang in your back pocket too, so Jarvin could be a top lane pick. Going into second phase on red side, OMG has a lot of options for both top lane, mid lane, jungle.
We talked about the Galio a lot yesterday as well. You know, when you need an easy go button, the Galio is there for you. Ever reliant until he's inevitably picked or banned out away from you. But OMG going to ban out the Alistar. They potentially no longer need that combo there in the bottom lane, want to deny the engage from Vici.
Vici Gaming as a team have actually played a lot of disengage composition, so I wouldn't be surprised if Morgana is the next ban for Vici Gaming, because Vici in the past have, like, they already have the Ezreal, so that actually just makes it that much more difficult. The Ezreal Morgana, maybe you can contest the lane a little bit more easier. They're going to leave it up there, so Southwind has that option. Southwind, individually speaking, throughout his career in the SPL, LDL, all that nonsense, he's actually played far more engage options. And then, as an asterisk, the Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench being banned out here means that he really is going to be going for either Morgana or, maybe a Thresh? Like, maybe? He's not really known for the Thresh, but we'll have to see what he ends up going for.
It's definitely more of a question mark, one that he could fill in today. But the bans for Vici going all over towards that top side. We mentioned Xiyang's Yorick before. That's going to be taken away from him, as well as the Scion in the top lane. OMG looking to focus towards the middle lane. Not sure what they're going to end up on here. Could be... Alright, it's the Ryze.
Ryze makes it a little more easier. If it was the Karthus, then I would say it would be jungle Karthus with, you know, driving the top lane. So that makes sense as a hover, as we've been seeing it through, you know, of course, EDG and the rest of the world, a lot more in Europe than here, at home in the LPL. Ryze, I still have question marks for, because although Icon has been a great Ryze player, and you would love to have the Realm Warp section right in the mid lane so you can end up traveling towards top lane, bot lane. It's a lot easier to roam with your jungler. But Xiyang has actually played that Ryze, and also Ryze is just a strong blind pick in the top lane, as we've already seen in the previous series. So OMG still holding their cards close to their chest.
It's a really good draft from both teams here. OMG looking heavy towards the flex pick, and Vici just securing the strong pick. They know they got Ix's Lee Sin, and they finish off the composition with a Jayce and a Braum.
It's another carry option for ZDZ, MVP ZDZ. So it's crazy to see players who were struggling throughout the split individually choking when it comes down to execution in the 2v2s, or whenever they go in for a deep invade on red side. This time around, locks in the Jayce, and guess who we see here?
That's a Malphite.
Hell yeah, it's a Malphite.
All right, run me through this one, Raz. I'm not quite sure how this Malphite's gonna go.
You know, back in the day, when I was a senior coach, Raz, and let's just say things weren't going well, it's difficult to end up forming like team fights and things that you're struggling and being able to pick up the fight. Then you just rig your composition with it. This one is a Galio, Jarvin, Malphite. Legitimately, if they cannot find a fight, they can only pin the blame on themselves. You can see the grin there from Icon. But yeah, Xiyang and Let Me have been the two players that whenever Malphite comes in to the meta, it's them in the LPL that have been locking it in first. Going up against the Jayce, of course he's going to be able to pick up armor. And we're just talking about pure scaling. Jayce will have a problem versus this composition. Their front line can get way too tanky from him. So I think if we're just talking about the early game, yeah, Malphite's going to be under his tower, might be in range of getting dove. And so it really is going to be ownership on Vici Gaming to lock it down early and get that goal lead. But we already saw how messy the last game was. I find it very difficult for me to believe that Vici Gaming are going to have that EDGS performance.
We've also seen, however, how effective Ix can be on the other foot, you know, because that Lee Sin got him a lot of plays, got his top lane rolling, got everything done across the map. So while the team's play was a little bit sloppy and the game as a whole was a little bit up in the air, we'll say, I feel like genuinely Ix on this Lee Sin is a good argument for Vici's early game.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It kind of reminds me of Rogue Warriors in 2018. The discussion of Rogue Warriors at that time, they weren't always just like the top of their league. Remember earlier on in the spring split when they were kind of having issues in the early game, they were finding themselves consistently behind. But they were building up like consistent scaling compositions, losing lanes, and it was Flawless that had to be able to pick up the Lee Sin early on, keep their team in the game, and he would be that bridge. I think Ix right now, he's not going to be as consistent as Flawless, but certainly he's going to try. And so I want to see what we can do with him in Game 2. If he is as strong in Game 1 as he is in Game 2, then I already have a strong belief of what this man can do going into summer.
Well, that puts the ball in OMG's court, right? Because let's assume that Ix plays that Lee Sin beautifully in the early game. Let's assume he has another MVP candidate performance. How's OMG going to stop him from rolling over their team once again? How's he going to stop ZDZ from getting massively fed and taking over the game?
How OMG's going to stop that?
Yeah.
Flank, just fight. Put them fists up. If you picked the Malphite and you're asking yourself a question, what are we going to do if the early game starts rolling? You have a problem on your hands. No, they know exactly what they want to do. They probably expect the early lanes to fall to Ix, I would say, especially since topside Krugs. If Ix is on the ball, then they shouldn't be able to pick up Krugs that frequently. So experience advantage in a perfect game would always be going towards Vici. So that's what I'm going to be looking to early on to see how Vici Gaming can play on that ball and if they can continue to roll it. There are going to be times where Vici Gaming stall out or take a little bit too long to look for a dive on top lane whenever it's open. That's when they start learning those lessons. So we'll get into it and figure out if that's what we get from Ix.
The stalls are going to be a lot scarier this game than last. You no longer have that insurance policy of the Vayne AD carry. You no longer guarantee yourself some late game scaling with the Vayne, with the gang playing.
Yeah.
Suddenly, your early game, it's a point of risk for you. You need to get this off. And we were talking about this, Vici, when they have no pressure on them, holy cow, where did this team come from? But now that the pressure's a little bit back on for them to perform, get the 2-0, end their split with a bang.
They're close to it. They're close to it. Look, I'm looking at my sweatpants right now. That's right. I'm wearing sweatpants. They're splice sweatpants. And I'm looking at this composition coming in from OMG. And they're exactly what I'm looking at. Challenging the enemy team. Saying that if you don't close out cleanly enough in the early portions of the game, if you don't, whisk the vision control on the right side of the map away from me, and if you don't if you aren't decisive enough around the Baron calls, and we steal it, guess what happens, right? Those are all questions that you have to worry about, and teams that are just struggling or coming together right near the end of the split will falter to this. It just comes down to how well OMG can play around like that WE-esque style of 2017. Those are the questions I'm asking myself. We'll have to see.
OMG got the team fight.
I'm just looking at the haircuts right now. This is what I do on my off time. I just gauge haircuts, because right now my hair is it's falling to pieces, man. And not a lot of people will notice. Is it? Oh my God, please stop it. Please stop. Please. I fell for that for whatever reason. It's like I literally haven't been working with you the entire split. It's like I didn't hire you or something.
Yes,
right.
boss, you're right. No more hair jokes.
All right. I literally was like, oh, really? I was like halfway expecting like a Jerry curl.
Suddenly I got like, Jerry curl, maybe a mohawk.
Yeah, something.
Maybe I could be like Hua Tian, rock the mullet.
Keep me guessing. I don't ever want to see Hua Tian's mullet again. But one thing I'm looking at right now, the Vici Gaming fans in OMG, you don't get to see a lot of them. Remember, a lot of the Vici Gaming fans kind of withered away when they lost Bengi. Easy Hoon went off to Suning. Wonder how much he's regretting that call. But you're seeing all these fans peeling away, but there's still some core fans there. There are fans in Chengdu waiting for this one, and I love to see it. I love to see the new players from Vici Gaming come through and still get the fan base following. I've seen Southwind posters, and I love to see that.
They've got to make a new legacy here. You know, when you rely on the older players, you don't get the opportunity to have that kind of legacy. Once you lose those players, like you said, you lose the fans. So now they get to build that back up. And of course, an update for anyone wondering what exactly is going on. The Champion Select is being remade at the moment.
Building that back up.
Yeah, building up fans, building up Champion Selects. It's a common theme here for Vici. I'm surprised they didn't come to work in overalls with a trowel in hand.
There we go. Get to work. Let me see what this is. That's actually just, I'm sorry. I can't give these people credit.
That's Cat Girl Icon.
That artwork needs some work. All right, just putting that out there.
Woo!
Look, I'm sorry.
Raz won't flame the players, but he'll flame the fans.
Hell
Good
yeah.
Lord.
They won't see this broadcast. I'll let you know how you really feel. But I appreciate it, though. You come in there, like, my artwork ain't any better, but at least I'm just going to be drawing stick figures, all right? With a nice cowboy hat. Just putting that out there. But now that we see, I think one thing that I'm going to look towards in this series that I want to see, like, because the player that I'm excited about is a player that I actually had in my LPL team, rookie team, with Southwind. So for Southwind, he's coming into this game with that Braum. Now, it's not an engaged type hero like I thought he would come into. He came in the split with the Alistar. He came in the split with the Galio. We won't be able to take whisked away by 5. But it doesn't mean like the Fangs are out from the bottom side of the map. We're going to be seeing Puff and Southwind hunting for kills on towards the Galio. I'm going to be expecting Lissandra and Ix to be hunting as well.
Going to see who wins the early game Giants or the team fight champions between these two compositions of Vici versus OMG in game number 2. Oh! Smack him. Oh, they're engaging. There's the two-man taunt coming in from 5, but he's taking a lot of damage. Ix follows it up, forces the flash away. Flashing from Jay. Oh my god, can he stop getting these amazing roots? The first blood goes down, forces the flash away from Chelly. They're still fighting. The Aftershock saves Icon. Go for it! Lee Syndrome pays off, baby, and he flashes to safety, no less.
Imagine being an OMG fan, just finishing off your chance, and this is what happens, right?
Chayo, no!
Oh! And that's a flash off of Jay, and a well-worth flash. Like, literally, that's the flash that you want to burn. Get, like, a multiple 3-man W. Well done from Jay and Ix, especially Ix to be able to close that one out with a kill. So there we go, man. That's the way you want to start out. 1-0-1 from Ix. He's about to steal this blue buff.
Not quite a level 1 triple kill, but it is taking away the buff. He does have the 2 kills participated in. Of course, that Conqueror going to help him out a little bit. We're seeing the Conqueror once again on the Jayce as well.
Conqueror on Jayce. We haven't seen that. It's usually you're getting the pressure with Airy. Sometimes you're seeing Klepto, but we're going to be seeing Penguin look for this gank on towards Jay.
This level 2 is going a lot better for him. They know Jay doesn't have the flash, but Aftershock saves him once again, and every solo queue player cried out in terror.
I mean, that's what we're going to be seeing after that level 1. Even the team that gets the most gold out of it, the question is what resources did you use to make it happen, right? Especially with Ix not having flash and Jay doing the same. Jay had to play a little bit more respectfully. He didn't get the kill gold there, had double assist goal, so he didn't have anything of value off that back. But Ix sees somebody. Get him!
He's looking for Penguin. He does have the double buff himself, forces the flash away from Penguin. Oh, the ward hop over the wall. Fancy feet from Ix. Will he be able to get the second Q? Icon has to body block it. And Penguin will EQ over the wall before the second Q even comes out from Ix.
There we go. At least he knows that Jarvin, I mean, of course, was never going to be able to pick up his blue buff without getting stolen. So he's going to be triple buffed. And he's going to have to go back to base after just getting hit up in that skirmish. So overall, Ix gets a huge lead in the early game.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about for Vici. What they need is a good early game, and honestly, I don't think you can have much of a better one, barring some weirder level 1s. Wow. 2-0-0, up 1.5k gold at just 3 minutes.
But you just have to be able to, like, right now, Ix, his focus needs to be a little bit more towards the bottom side of the map, because that wave at some point will bounce. It really just depends on Puff and Southwind, you know, communicating the right time for it. ZDZ doesn't have to worry about that too much. I think the only thing he has to be concerning himself with is Penguin perhaps trading sides. But take a look at this. He's going to be on the bottom side of the map.
It's the second level 2 gank coming in from Penguin. They force away the flash and the heal from the bottom lane of Vici. And Chelly chasing down. Should be able to get the rend if he gets one more auto on. No, not going to be able to find it. So Vici's bot lane will survive, but have to base.
Have to flash out level 1, so won't be able to follow Puff there. But no flash on a Puff. So I wanted to see Ix go towards the bottom side of the map and look to protect that a little bit. Whenever you're working with Braum and you know the wave is going to be bouncing back soon enough, you want to be able to usher the wave forward so, you know, the Ezreal and Braum won't be in such an awkward position within the lane. Unfortunately, that was the fact. They just have to recognize that, you know, they don't have their jungler there yet. So it's going to be Jarvin getting a good payoff on the bottom side of the map.
The top lane, Xiyang not getting punished too hard here. He's able to poke out a little bit with that Comet, with the Q, and has the mana flow band to keep himself a little bit sustained up. So he's only down 4 CS, and that's great. But Penguin, this is his 3rd gank. He's still level 3. He is going heavy in the early game investment himself.
I don't think he's necessarily ganking. I think he's looking for a counter gank. That's the biggest worry here, knowing that Flash is gone from both of his laners. So just sitting just in case. I'm surprised he didn't sit there a little bit longer, knowing that this next wave was when it's going to crash. So there's a risk that Lissandra just comes in anyways. But, I mean, at least the intent was there.
He tried his best. He was there, trying to help out, and then waddle the wave back to base. But the wave will push back out. Looks like OMG will be able to neutralize it a little bit, as Icon is zoning Jay off like crazy at this point.
18 CS. Yep.
That's nuts.
Yep.
Actually kind of disgusting. Penguin, oh my god. Farm at some point, man. Looking for the gank mid, just going to walk through.
I'm surprised he didn't pick up his Krugs when he was on top side. Like, that was the biggest surprise for me. So, he lost his blue buff, decided to not farm up the Krugs, wanted to go in for an invade and got nothing. So, yeah, you're right in the fact that he's going to be gasping for air. He's a level behind. And it's not going to get better unless he leeches more experience from his lanes.
He's even a level behind bot lane. This is not great for him. Oh, they see Ix on the ward. Icon, positioning over the wall.
Is he just going to flash? Is that what's going to happen? Oh, here we go.
There's the EQ. Flag and drag lands onto Ix. The root to follow it up. Do they have enough damage to take him out before he saves himself? They do. Icon going to pick that one up. And finally, Penguin gets a little bit for his troubles as he dings level 4.
Yeah, sit long enough and Ix is going to do something. He was just close to having his flash up. If you see right now, at least in about like 10 seconds is going to get his flash. So he wasn't going to be able to get it up for himself. And just a good pick overall from Icon and Penguin. Initially, they're going to look for the play bottom lane, perhaps a dive, but you saw it too. Like, that ward paid off so much that they were able to get the kill onto Lissandra.
Now, Chelly trying to keep pressure on the bottom lane. They've already won an engage before. They just want to get another one. Keep the pressure in the early game, because if all the early game goes over to Vici, that's a big problem for OMG. But so far, that does seem to be the case, except for the mid lane, where once again, Icon still that massive CS lead.
Something has to kind of be done about this. I know Jay's perspective, just push out the wave and look to help out Lee Sin. Lee Sin is still in a great position having that extra long sword and completing his jungle item. And we'll be able to look for, I would say, pressure towards the Malphite. Malphite, when he comes back, sure, you'll have tank stats. Right now has the bomb center. But like the major issue for me is that ZDZ, double Doran's blade, long sword, good enough to start harassing in the lane matchup. So I wonder how topped up Xiyang is going to be when he actually trades consistently with ZDZ. Because last time around, level 1, level 4, what we saw was just Xiyang losing a lot of mana for his trades as he was maxing his Q, I believe. And then just not being able to match up. He was like 60% HP at the back half of it going up against ZDZ.
We talked about the scaling issues ZDZ might run into as well, and it looks like he might be opting towards the Blade of the Ruined King first. Now, we have seen that here before in the LPL, so it's not massive Trailblazer, but it will help him trade against the very beefy Xiyang on Malphite.
Usually you see that when a top laner decides to split push a little bit more frequently. In the past, historically, when Jayce gets bullied around so he can't go towards the lethality, just the straight armor penetration. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go Blade of the Rune King. I'm going to be sitting in the sideline. This time around, he makes that choice knowing that if he 5v5s against OMG's composition, then it is going to be Havoc. He decided that his role is just to keep Xiyang in the side lane. So we'll see how it ends up going. He already has himself the CS advantage, so that's a positive.
Wow, Jay taking a ton of damage there in the mid lane. Still run away here for Icon, but Ike's picking up the Ocean Drake should help a little bit with the health and mana issue there in the mid lane for Jay, if nothing else. And Ike's gank attempt will be spotted out by a ward.
It's going to help a lot for ZDZ too. I think a lot of these solo laners are there to be able to throw out abilities, and Puff is going to be in the same case. A pre-14-minute Ocean Dragon is always going to help. This one's going to help a little bit more.
Engaged, followed up by the hero's entrance. The double, triple knock up onto Jay. Goodbye, Lissandra. Icon picks up a second kill and will try and get another turret plating here.
I mean, they just saw the play happening, and now they're going to be able to just throw the full cannon minion wave in. Overall, just a great call from 5 to be able to roam up and make the job work.
Look at where everyone's positioned here for OMG. They're both taking away the blue buff at this point. Icon picks it up. They have a lot of pressure here onto ZDZ, so he's going to back off, be careful to clear away the vision while he can. This will give Xiyang a little bit of time to try and make his way back into the lane.
And your eyes do not deceive you on the visual, bug towards the gold bounty. Yeah, right now Ryze has a gold bounty that's kind of flickering. It's 450. So the government does have a hit on him. He's on a roll at the moment, just through the CS leads that you already see. So, getting that out of the way, that's what OMG should be focusing on. Control ward there, they're not going to be in a position to protect it just yet, unless if Jarvin, nah, he's not going to forego the camps. He's actually just going towards his wolf camp. I think he should just do as much as he can to be able to get Icon ahead in the lane, because once he starts getting the push across and he's able to keep Jay underneath his own tower, then bottom lane is actually going to be super far behind for Puff and Southwind. Look, they're only doing this now because they know that Ryze is keeping solid right in the mid lane.
Southwind dodging away from the engage, throws out a Winter's Bite on the back of it. Now OMG's bot lane will be forced under tower a little bit, but mid lane is a massive pressure sink here for Jay. Still keeping the wave clear, at the very least. And the top lane looks like Ike's was going up towards it, potentially looking for a gank, but Xiyang wasn't there. He's picked up his Tabi and the Bammy Cinder.
Take a look at the vision that Jay was able to place right smack dab in the mid lane. That saw that Ryze go upside, so they know that Icon went up, which means that ZDZ has to just base, so there's no worry there, and Lissandra doesn't have to call for his bottom lane to back away. That if Ryze was leaning bot side, then there's a lot of concern there. Wave the alarms, Penguin and Ike starts running towards the bottom side of the map, but that wasn't the case. So I love that ward because it allows Jay to make the right decision when he's underneath his own tower.
Right now, I'm just waiting, Raz.
What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for Xiyang. He's level 9, man. He's been level 6 for 3 whole levels now, and I have not seen an amazing ultimate come in and just smack Vici in the face. And I want to see it. I want to see it so bad. We might get to see it now. Penguin's looking for the gank. There it is. Smacks him in the face, but the baseball bat from ZDZ knocks him back, and now it's going to be a 2 versus 3. Jay comes in with the teleport, frozen tube on himself, but now ZDZ has to go golden, getting chased down. A lot of damage here from Icon. Now it's a full-on 3v3. OMG, you need to stay alive in this fight. You need to get Jay down, and they do, but force out the teleport from Chelly as well. Oh. Whew. That was close. True Shot Barrage almost picked up Penguin, but not quite able to on the backside of that.
If you're wondering why ZDZ was sticking around, yeah, Jay was coming. If they got 1 kill, that's a lot of damage from the Lissandra passive that OMG would have to respect. But the extra teleport coming in from Kalista got the job done. That being said, Puff is alone in the bottom lane, and he's chipping at the turret. So who's that? Whose teleport's that? Wait a minute. Who's that?
Xiyang.
Yeah. All right, they're swapping lanes. That makes it awkward for Puff, so he has to find himself top lane as the dual lane is starting to pound into the top lane tower. This is just a really awkward position for Puff now.
Usually we see the lane swaps a little bit later into the game. But this time, positions were right. The stars aligned for OMG. So they sent their bottom lane, kept them top. Just rotated up 5. To get some vision around the Rift Herald as well as this point. And the second Ocean Drake of the game is spawning in just 45 seconds. So that's an option for Vici as well.
It is, and I think that'll only be the case if both teams decide that Rift Herald's a little bit too warded up. OMG right now are the ones in the driver's seat, even if they have a slight goal disadvantage because of the tempo play they made topside. So Penguin wants to be able to go for this Rift Herald. Unfortunately, yeah, it's just warded. I think they had a good idea that that was the case.
Now they know for sure, if nothing else. Certainty's nice. Penguin's going to pick himself up a stopwatch so he can make the crazy plays he wants to. And Xiyang's ultimate's almost back up. We saw him get batted away last time by ZDZ, the world's laziest cat. But now, looks like the Rift Herald is under contention.
Why is he going for this?
I don't know. He has to have been spotted out, or at the very least,
we just
OMG
didn't see his entrance. We didn't see his entrance to this bit. He could have, you know, ward hopped or something, but he will be caught out soon as Penguin. There we go. What are you doing in here?
They see it. All right, just gonna give Chelly a smack. Penguin, oh, he's still staying around for this.
ZDZ is rotating. This means that Vici Gaming want to be able to contest this. We're gonna be seeing a fight here.
4,000 left on the Rift Herald. One more eyeball proc, and it should go down very quickly. There it is, 600. It's secured by Penguin, but now Ike's looking for the Q. Will follow it up. He's waiting. He has the ward on the other end, but he's just going to Dragon's Rage right then and there. Hero's Entrance comes in.
What?
Penguin's still safe. Good shock timing, but now he gets killed, and Chelly saves his support.
He was a pixel away from making it over to that wall. He legitimately couldn't make it over that wall. That's unfortunate. Sad.
Oof.
Yeah, Penguin ends up dying for that one. They end up getting the Rift Herald anyways. It's going to be delayed just a tad bit. Now he's going to come back into the map at some point, but for Vici Gaming, you're right. They couldn't contest for it on time. ZDZ comes through, but by the time he ends up coming, yeah, Rift Herald's off the map. So Vici Gaming seems like they're always playing back, but the kills are still coming through. So this is the one I was talking about. Good kick. Then immediately, of course, you want to use the Galio ultimate to protect them, but take a look at the man who is sitting on top of the wall. Literally Humpty Dumpty, by the way.
That just hurts.
Yeah, it does. The egg cracked in that story.
Goodbye, Jay.
This is what happens when you stay in a replay for too long.
Xiyang just smacks him with a rock.
Are we going to get a replay on that and then have to go into the next replay? We get into replay inception so often in the LPL. You just don't know when a team's going to fight. But I think it's safe to assume that both teams are willing to. Xiyang just wants it right now.
I respect that, man. He's sitting with double buff. He's going to heal this one up pretty easily. He doesn't have to worry about mana sustain anymore. He's got wave clear. He's got defenses. Now the Rift Herald coming in.
Does it immediately update? Oh yeah, it's already post 14. I'm sad. Yeah, that's fine. I was really excited to see that would just like spike up to 4, but that's not going to be the case.
But they will get the mid lane tower, so first tower going over to OMG, and with that they finally secured themselves a gold lead for the first time in this game. And this is maybe not as accelerated as Vici were looking for, but we are going to get a replay, Raz.
That's how we get it. Jay ended up getting hunted down by Xiyang's ultimate. This is what we wanted to see since Champion Select, and we got robbed by that replay.
But this time, we got to see the ultimate, the chunk, the smack.
I mean, it's never exciting to see it in replay. I mean, you can imagine the audience going wild as it's happening live. But when it happens in replay, you're just looking back at it. I mean, everyone else had already seen the play except for us. And we just loners out here.
When it's live, it feels like it could be like a WWE promo. You hear "We Will Rock You" in the background as Malphite ults in, but the replay is just like, okay, they got it. Now OMG will secure themselves the second dragon of the game, tying it up 1-1 in the oceans. They'll get a little bit of sustain for themselves, but it's out of the laning phase. So not quite as significant as the pre-14.
Now, Xiyang has his ultimate right back up. At this point in the time, you already see Vici Gaming pressuring up through mid. I expect him to look to push and roam. There's no reason for him to smack. Okay, he's just smacking the turret. I'm looking at the mini-map right now. He's just smacking the turret. Why isn't he rotating up mid?
You get him, Malphite.
Look at all of the wonderful control wars that OMG have in the river and the bot side. Literally just masking him so he can always walk up and see if he can threaten, you know, the Braum or Ezreal or help up when they're now contesting towards the, you know, red buff area. This is all the stuff you can do if you have the wards that OMG have. But nah, man, that guy just he's hitting that turret hard.
Yeah, I mean, he did hit it hard, Braz. He got it down to, you know, about a third health, and with OMG sitting on the first tower of the game, would open up everything but the mid lane for them, or top lane rather. Oh, there's the engage coming in from Ike's, the kick to end all kicks. They're going to get the stun, get the kill. Hero's Entrance not going to be enough, but it will force away the flash from Ike's. OMG lose one off the back of the fight. I
mean, Vici Gaming were hunting for that play. That's why I wanted to see Xiyang come in. He was the only member of OMG that had to push in lane and could have helped them out and masked himself through the control ward. Unfortunately, he ain't gonna be there. And now you're seeing Vici Gaming off the back of Ix's kick. Even when he was taunted up, was able to still get the kick off onto Jarvin. So well done from him. And Vici Gaming's vision towards the top side, while it's not going to be super helpful towards the Baron buff itself, and they won't be able to steal up red buff, still great to be able to now ping pong between the mid and top lane turret.
ZDZ is keeping up in the farm, has not fallen behind in this 1v1 matchup. Doesn't look like he's turned it into the Blade of the Ruin King just yet. Opting for the Black Cleaver first against Xiyang. Xiyang himself has just completed the Sunfire Cape 1-0-1. Has the ultimate available and the teleport, so maybe gonna see some plays soon.
Good call from OMG. The lane assignment to have Ryze right next to ZDZ. Now you're looking towards what ZD's picking up for himself, and he's like, okay, I need to go back to find the armor stacking Malphite. Going towards Black Cleaver, he wants to be able to go into the matchup, but now he's dealing with what's going to be pretty hefty damage dealing Ryze. Looks like they're going to try and triple down on him. There's a lot of members here from Vici Gaming.
Whoa, there's the bot lane.
You didn't even have to. All right? Didn't have to happen.
I love that you were anticipating that enough to be ready with that, because Icon now no longer has the flash. I mean, he had Realm Warp too. He had a tower. He had
I don't care about the
Realm.
Don't Realm Warp, because that takes too long and they can CC you out of it. But literally all you have to do is hold onto your flash when he throws out the kick. A lot of Lee Sins won't make that mistake, but he was actually looking for the Ryze to try and dodge out. So try and walk backwards to see if the Lee Sin kick misses. So it's not as if Ike's made the wrong call. It's just that if you're Ryze, you're supposed to look for it. Is the whole thing. But just in case, it's alright, it's alright. He's got Righteous Glory now. He's sitting alright.
He's safe. He's got his 2 items secure. Righteous Glory, like you said, alongside Archangels. Still stacking up. Not quite fully stacked into the Seraph's Embrace just yet. And Chelly looking to hit that second item.
Just take a look at the inventory from Vici Gaming. Like across the board off their bases, they have control wards. So they have a pretty good idea once they get pressure through mid that they can start placing it down, but take a look where OMG are.
Looking for the engaged Flag and Drag, not going to land there for Penguin. He takes a lot of damage, forced to flash away. Glacial Fissure has been used. Puff flashes forward, as does Southwind. That's a lot of committal for a fight. They need to get a kill here, but no, Penguin barely dodges away from all of the skill shots, and he'll still be alive. Realm Warp takes them safely to the middle lane.
It's a double flash from Vici Gaming to get the same amount of flashes across from OMG. I mean, Xiyang is sitting pretty tight about this one, but I think that once Vici Gaming were able to get, first summoner, kill, they can continue to push up mid because the primary objective is to get to mid. Here we go, though. I think they can actually stick the OMG members underneath their tower. Oh, they see him. Yeah, all right. Never mind.
Oh, forget that one. But they might still get the tower. They have a lot of pressure, and they're zoning off OMG. So now OMG lose their mid lane tower. Xiyang is still walking down, but hasn't fully rotated yet.
The next step is going to be the hardest one. Once you're able to take the mid lane outer turret, as Vici Gaming's composition is supposed to be intended to do that, with, Jayce on side to be able to look for extra poke, then you're looking towards moving around the top lane outer turret, seeing if you can push off whoever's there, and then taking control over the open objectives like Baron buff or the next dragon. I mean, if you want to be able to stack dragons, that's wonderful. Maybe roll the dice for the next Infernal. That's always nice. But then OMG at that point, that's when they get the opportunity to start to challenge you with their composition. And their composition is so good once Penguin is able to just find his way inside these fights. So Vici Gaming at this point are going to have to start to feel that pressure. Those control wards they have in their inventory are going to start to pay off. As long as they can place 2 of their control wards in aggressive positions when they're moving towards dragon, then they can start getting real picks on their composition around Braum and not have to face the full brunt of OMG's comp.
OMG, despite all the pressure attempted to come out from Vici, haven't really felt the brunt of it. You've seen Xiyang split pushing this entire game. He's going for a Sheen, potentially to just keep that pressure up around the map, and Icon going to pick up the bottom lane tower as well. So OMG, like you said, are starting to come into this one, and they've got a really fun team comp for team fights that Vici really need to avoid.
Yeah, they do. At least they have a pretty good a way to do that. Already looking at Ezreal, people like Arcane Shift is very easy to be able to look towards even if he doesn't have flash. Jay has his ultimate to keep himself in it. ZDZ and, for me, Southwind are still a little bit more question marks. So I want to be able to see how they end up playing out these fights. Oh, I guess we're going to find out soon enough.
Oh, Xiyang, that's a beautiful ultimate, but he cannot find his way in to use it. Not going to have an engage there. And meanwhile, ZDZ just keeping the pressure down in the bottom lane, pushing out. This time, he'll be the first one to clear out the waves.
It's a good call. I mean, already look at Xiyang is basing to be able to take that wave. So it delays OMG a little bit. Oh, no.
Frozen to him out from Jay. Icon looking for the kill. I'm not going to be able to find it, but he'll be happy that he forced out the ultimate from Jay, if nothing else.
I wonder if it's enough corrupting potions. Yeah, I wonder if it's enough corrupting potions from Jay to stay in the lane. Nah, he's going to back anyways, even though he's good enough, but is not comfortable enough. So all of them are basing, and that means that OMG are going to take a good amount of control towards the Baron buff.
He's following this Malphite versus Jayce 1v1, because no completed Blade of the Ruin King yet. Despite that, ZDZ with the Conqueror with the Black Cleaver is able to put a lot of hurt onto Xiyang.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose. Like, all of that armor that you got to see Xiyang pick up for himself started falling off with the stacks from both Black Cleaver and the arm and the 10% true damage that you're starting to see from ZDZ. And he already has that extra lifesteal. Nice flash from ZDZ.
Flashed away, but that is a flash for an ultimate which has a decently low cooldown, all things considered. Xiyang going to have that one up for the next fight. The Drake, next one. You were right, Raz. You were saying they could gamble for an Infernal, and there it is. One fiery boy going to be spawning into the Dragon Pit soon. The Baron's still available as well. And Vici are just pushing down mid, trying to get vision pressure.
I just wonder what Vici end up doing with it. If you look at what their composition's supposed to do, it's not very good at looking to burn down Dragon or like, oh, I mean Baron that is, and threatening OMG to try and commit to it because they can't stick on the buff long enough. They don't have tanky enough members. And I'm just looking at the 4-man unit that Vici Gaming would have around the pit. Even if you add in ZDZ, it's simply not enough to be able to sit on Baron and try and look for a long enough play around it. You'd need a true tank for that. So Vici Gaming's comp is going to be fairly risky around this portion of the game.
How much longer do they have? Do you feel like they get outscaled absolutely once OMG get rolling, or do they still have a chance into the late game?
I think the idea, the concept of scaling is always difficult because Puff is in a really good position. Once he's able to pick up like second tier, completely stack it up, take a look at it right now. He's actually at a really good pace for himself. 286 CS at 24 minutes into the game. It's pretty nice. So I'm looking at Puff to be able to carry that torch for Vici Gaming. Is this more so when you look at the composition that OMG has there? If they can get past that poke, if they can get past the Braum and Ezreal, and if ZDZ hadn't done a good enough job splitting up the Malphite, and Malphite finds a way to be able to pick up that fight, and then not have to worry about the split push, then yeah, I think OMG's team fighting is strong. It's just that I don't think Vici Gaming are ever going to be put in that position of team fight.
Doing a great job so far with that pressure. But if you look at OMG's inventory, we were talking about the control wards for Vici, and now OMG, every single member has at least one, with 2 on the jungler, mid, and support, so they're looking for a lot of vision of their own. Yeah,
and I think they're going to try and act on it. Take a look at the fact that they're already moving. Okay, that's acting all right.
Yeah, Realm Warp looking for Jay. He flashes away, gets the root, but he's in a lot of trouble. Still has the Frozen Tomb available. He's going to use it. The teleport coming in. Ike's is here as well to try and save his mid laner. It will happen, but Jay incredibly low, a lot blown. But that's a great flash kick. The hero's entrance is coming in. Icon's still alive. Ike's in trouble. Chelly's able to get the kill onto him, and now OMG can look towards the Baron.
Yeah, no jungler on the side of Vici Gaming. And when I was talking about acting on it, was because Icon had the items to look for the fight. That's when they usually go for it, pull the trigger. Now Xiyang's a part of this one. If he's fully committed here, you would expect them to start the Baron up and have Xiyang look for the ultimate. He's just baiting for it.
OMG, Xiyang, like you said, ultimate looking for the flank, but ZDZ will be able to put down decent poke. That's the strength of Vici's composition, is they have the poke coming out in both top and AD carry, and it is enough to force them off the Baron.
Yeah, it was just the poke that was starting to land from both ZDZ and Puff, because at that point, Vici Gaming were in a lose-lose situation. They wanted to keep away from the all-in engage that Xiyang had, but at the same time, there was never going to be a call for them to go all in to try and steal it away from them because you have Ren stacks on Baron. So OMG, you could already see how threatening they are on these neutral objectives. And to start it all off, right there, get the pick on towards Jay. You start to see Lee Sin get that kick, and the problem with the kick is that they didn't get a primary target that didn't have flash. They were able to get Ryze, who still had the summoner, repositioned to be able to now get the kill on towards Ike's, and Ike's doesn't want to die when they're on the top side of the map right next towards Baron. That was a disaster situation to be putting yourself in.
And now OMG were able to pick up the Infernal Drink. Not quite a Baron, but still looking good for their composition, especially for Chelly. If you look at the mid lane, Icon going towards one of my favorite Ryze builds, the Join B with the Ryze. I don't think he's quite going to commit all the way and go the Liandry's on top of it, but that is a lot of chase down and slow potential coming out from Icon.
It is the ability to get the utility. If you're on the side lane, as you currently see him on, then he can end up, of course, running down ZDZ. Already has the damage to follow up. CDR that you have is always, you know, nice to have. It's always beneficial for you to machine gun your current abilities. So I like him on side lane. He's not going up against ZDZ in this instance, but here's a Kalista.
Ultimate not going to be batted away this time from ZDZ. Chelly and Xiyang both here, but Blade of the Ruin King, a lot of speed. He's just turning on. He's looking for the kill. I don't think that was the right decision. He's not going to be able to find it, and the shutdown goes on to Xiyang. Now a fight, and the rest of the map has broken out. 5 incredibly low, as is Penguin. Can Puff find the kills? He gets one, but that's the Lissandra passive chasing into the fight. Icon still alive on the back side of it. They need to take him down. One more auto to get the stun. They get it. They shut him down as well. Puff still alive in the back of this fight, but Chelly 80 carry versus 80 carry here, and it looks like Puff's able to take it. That's going to be the ace coming out from Vici.
That stopwatch, man, just to buy for time for his arcane shift, gets the job done. Vici Gaming. I mean, this all started because Chelly went for that cute play on top of ZDZ. But guess what? You lose off of that. The moment you see the 80 carry looking for the kill in the top laner, the 4-man strong Vici Gaming look for the kill in mid lane. And that's the result. Puff had the opportunity to get an isolated 1-for-1-for-1. So take a look at this. This was at the same time as Kalista was going bottom side of the map. They looked for the kill on towards 5. He was really like squishy enough to get the kill and get out there too. So Puff was in a perfect position. The terrain here made it so he can actually just you know, cordon off, kite right back there. And then he was able to heal up enough to be able to join his team. But remember, at this point he has red buff. He had already used his arcane shift to get in there. And so when the Kalista just jumps right at him, stopwatches, will be able to get the arcane shift right back up and gets the kill on towards Kalista.
Those stopwatches were absolutely insane that fight. 3 of them used on the side of Vici. Coming out on top of it by far. Now, they don't have a Baron buff, but they have something a little bit better. They got the Ace and they got the mid lane tower as well. So 2 inners remaining for them to take down. They might be looking for another fight. They lock down Penguin. He goes into the stone plate. We're going to see if they can kill him. They finally have enough damage, and now 5 stuck in the backline of Vici as well. 2 fights in a row for Vici, and now that they've taken down 2 members, including the jungler of OMG, they're looking at the Baron. Yeah,
control war is starting to pay off. The utility that you have from Jay and Southwind. Man, Southwind's passive is doing work, especially with Puff being able to back up ZDZ off it. Now, it's pretty easy, unless if somehow Malphite can get a miracle working. What kind of miracle are we talking? All right,
no kind of miracle, Ryze.
Yeah.
No kind. So no miracle can come out. Interesting to see the Trinity Force completed by Xiyang. But more importantly, the Baron's gone over to Vici. Now they have the opportunity to push with it. They're up 5,000 gold, down in Dragons, but that doesn't matter at this point. Baron buff 3 minutes. That's what's going to be happening for the next 3 minutes.
And we already talked about, like, in the mid game, that was going to be a difficult time for Vici Gaming's composition to come online. In this stage, you already saw the Blade of the Ruin King get picked up from ZDZ. It's going to be similar to the last game where he's just going to find himself inside lane, undisturbed, keep Xiyang away from the fight. This is when OMG starts throwing the wave. Say, I don't need this bottom lane minion wave. Xiyang just needs to be there with the team with how many times he's not been able to use his ultimate. So, okay, well,
they're going to stop 5 right in his tracks. That's a free pick off for Vici, and now they can just leisurely stroll up to the bottom lane tower.
Gotta respect the vision, man. That's what happens. Like, Vici Gaming are doing a great job about layering their wards in blue side jungle when they're going to be going through bot and mid lane.
They've still got 3 control wards as well. They've got the trinkets on the top and jungler, so a lot of vision. Icon looking for the lockdown onto Jay. They might be able to find it. Redemption and Frozen Tomb being used to try and save the mid laner of Vici Gaming. And Icon suddenly might be in a little bit of trouble. Conquers his proc here for Ike. They're trying to get damage down. The kick away to keep Icon away.
But take a look at the bottom lane. They're already moving towards the inhibitor tower at the same time, so Vici Gaming bought for time. They thought they can get the kill on Ryze, but the moment that didn't come to fruition, Southwind and ZDZ just hold them down, hold them still. Maybe more people try and help them out while they're getting the objective. Oh, here comes Xiyang.
Oh, there comes the Realm War. Jay going to go in, goes golden. Icon as well. The Fate's Call going to pop out there from OMG. And now OMG look to be having the better side of this fight, but look at ZDZ on the side. He's almost able to take out Icon, but the shields coming out will keep him alive, and they shut down ZDZ. On the back end of the fight, they take out 5, but that is support for top laner. Puff still alive, still full health, taking damage out. There's the E to pick up the kill onto Penguin. And it's a lot of damage that they just cannot answer from OMG, and Vici Gaming should be able to pick up this inhibitor in the middle lane.
Yeah, I want to see that one more time. Just take a look at how... Oh, wait a minute. What are you doing still here?
Icon, there's Ike, there's the kick. He'll die for it, but it doesn't matter all that much. If Chelly can get the kill, that will stop the push, but Puff's still alive. Chelly gets it! 2 kills for Xiyang. I'm sorry I doubted the Trinity Force. He clearly knows what he's doing with that one. He has the ultimate up in a few seconds, but he's chasing down onto Southwind. Chelly's there as well with the Rend for the slow, and that is one dead support on the side of Vici Gaming. The ace coming out, this time in favor of OMG.
I mean, Vici Gaming staying a little bit too long because they saw that kill in mind, and to be fair to them, the last kill that they would have put out, if the Ezreal Q had hit, same with Lissandra, that would have turned into a very likely end game. So they saw the end of the game in their eyes. But take a look at this. What is Xiyang going to do when there are no proper targets in front of him? They saw him coming from a mile away, so they dispersed. Ezreal went to the right. You got to see Ike's, start to peel off to the left, so they didn't get an opportunity to get like a 2-man ultimate. Then this started coming through. Puff started to run in, and it's too long, so you probably won't get to see the end of this play when they go into it. Oh, we're speeding up. Wait a second, we're going to see it all.
Go for it.
All right. Because the call to go into this fight, I liked it at the beginning. You're going to get the kill on Icon very quickly. It's more so the execution on towards a jumping, hopping Kalista that was important. 2 missed Qs is going to cost you. If they had gotten the kill on towards Chelly, that's the end of the game. Unfortunately, that just means you end up falling, face first when you didn't get it.
Then Southwind's going to die on the back of that. We don't need to see that. We already saw that happen. But now, Vici no longer have the Baron buff available. OMG pick up their 4th Dragon of the game. They are down an inhibitor for longer than until the Baron comes up. So that's a little bit worrisome. If Vici play their cards right, might be able to secure the Baron while OMG are dealing with waves in the middle lane.
I think that's a good call. I mean, the only time this composition starts to really start pressuring towards Baron Nashor is, you're right, when the waves are already pushed up. You already see Jayce on the bottom side of the map, and top lane putting in work too. So that is a great opportunity. 1 minute and 30 seconds is too long for my liking, so I think Vici Gaming should just focus on what are the turrets in front of them.
Oh, wow. Xiyang gets the ultimate there onto Puff. He QSSs as well, gets the extra movement speed, and he'll keep himself safe. Doesn't have to use the flash, doesn't even use a whole lot of anything. So just QSS burned, 7, 1, and 8 on this Ezreal. But Chelly, as we saw, can still make these fights happen. But while Xiyang's ultimate is down, OMG are at risk.
Yeah, just testing Puff, which is just weird, right? Of course, Puff is going to be able to make that pick, unless if your team is that coordinated that you'll be able to get him at the same time. I don't think that was going to be the case. So now you don't have an ultimate on Xiyang, but take a look at how low that cooldown is at this point. If you're looking at him right now, it's already just less than 30% on it. So it's going to be coming up as the next wave starts to crash towards the top lane.
Absolutely disgustingly short cooldown time, and that's so good for OMG at this stage of the game because they're going to be fighting pretty frequently as the pressure goes in towards their inhibitors.
And it's up. Yeah.
Boom.
That's fine.
There it goes.
Yeah, there we have it.
Ticks over. 4, 1, and 4. I'm sorry I question the Trinity Force at this point because it gives him so much 1v1 potential. Hero's Entrance going to come in, should be able to save them, and now ZDZ getting picked off in the bottom lane. This is a bad look for Vici, especially considering 10 seconds until the Baron.
Yeah, excellent timing for OMG just off that. You're already seeing them get mid lane pressure. This is the one shot that OMG's been looking for. Let's make it work.
They've got the Kalista, they've got extra attack speed from the Jarvin, they've got the flank from Xiyang. Look, the ultimate already back down to half cooldown. There's so much they can do to zone off Vici from this fight, and Vici don't have an option to contest at this point. 35 seconds of ZDZ dead.
They're in the same position they were not so long ago. Already starting it now, but don't have Malphite here just yet. Not going to be here for a little bit. All right, let's see how Vici Gaming end up responding.
That was a lot of damage there on the Penguin at the very least. Jay has to use the Glacial Path outward defensively. Can the poke from Puff dissuade the Baron take 5,000 health? Jay coming in from the flank as well. 4,000 health. Xiyang has his ultimate available at this point. The dive into the pit. Pops the GA. Xiyang not going to find anyone with the ultimate. Baron down to 2,000. Puff stuck on the side, zoning out. The Baron's secured by OMG, but can Vici get anything on the back of it? Icon goes in with the Realm Warp. Ike's gets taken out by Penguin, and now Puff running away as fast as he can, has the arcane shift. Flash no longer available. Icon's chasing down, will not be able to find it, but OMG have all 5 members alive with the Baron buff.
Oh, where do you think you're going?
Southwind now stuck. That's going to be 1 man down for Vici, and that's so bad.
Yeah, it is. Remember, Elder Dragon's coming up in a minute 22. So right now, OMG's getting everything coming in at the same time. That's what I'm talking about with the composition the Vici Gaming have. When you have your early game lead, mid game lead, and everything's working out, you need to play clean. Like, you need to be able to pull Xiyang away from the enemy team, like from the rest of his team when these plays start happening, because you get into this position, how do you win out? You can't pick the team fight because Xiyang is ready for the ultimate. And even when he missed, already good enough plays. Like, they're tanky enough so Kalista can just mindlessly auto-attack the Baron buff at 30k HP and wait till it gets low enough for the Kalista Rend and Smite. It was actually 100 HP that Baron buff was left to. So there was a possibility that Ix could help out and steal it away. But it's just very hard when a team is coordinating it that well.
Now, OMG have Baron on all of their members alive. Their inhibitor has respawned at this point, Elder Dragon in 30 seconds, and they have 4 dragons to their name. This is so frightening for Vici. This is do or die for them, or OMG will tie up the series in a grueling 39-minute game so far, and it's not even over.
17 seconds till Elder Dragon comes up, and you know that what OMG is going to be looking for. So if I'm Vici Gaming, you just have to push me. You cannot contest for the Elder Dragon because that's what OMG wants at you.
Xiyang has the ultimate. He's positioning really far forward, doing double duty of applying the Baron buff and keeping pressure with his ultimate. Vici finally cleared the wave. The next one won't be up for a bit.
You're going to see a 2-man happening towards Elder Dragon. Sure, you can try to stop it, but the fight's going to turn on you. Let's see what ends up happening. Penguins might be that target.
Southwind tags Penguin at the very least. They're forcing them out to the side, looking for the... Wow. How do you steal? As a Lee Sin against the Kalista, Ix knows the way. He found it. And now the answer in the fight. Glacial Fissure not going to land. Chelly with a greatly timed Fate's Call. They pick off Jay in the backside. Vici need to survive this fight, but Puff is so deep into the enemy team. OMG found the fight they were looking for despite losing the Elder Dragon, and they're going to be able to pick up the ace in the shutdown. OMG going to shove it down the middle lane. They have the Baron buff still on them.
Wow. I mean, like, it's crazy that we can't even celebrate the fact that Ix ended up picking up that Elder Dragon, because OMG are just a strong enough teamfight composition that they don't even need it. They're going to go all the way. These are long death timers in the side of Vici Gaming.
OMG take down the mid lane inhibitor turret. Inhibitor
Let's
short
take it
to
all.
follow. Come on, you can do it. Run it in. There's the Realm Warp to get the minions there faster. And OMG, in 40 minutes, are able to take down Vici off the back of the first Malphite pick in the LPL.
And that's what happens when you have a straightforward composition. Fight us. Let's go. Galio, Jarvin, bring in the Malphite.
Hit buttons. Yeah.
I mean, like, they knew that what was going to happen was, like, early game was going to go in favor of Vici Gaming. Perhaps they didn't think it was going to be that handily, or Vici Gaming were going to hold on to it that well. But you started to make mistakes, and for me, it was about that mid lane inhibitor. The moment mid lane inhibitor was down and Vici Gaming were in position to end the game, right? They actually could have ended the game if they had gotten that kill on towards Kalista in the final moments. Didn't happen. OMG takes the team fight. They push out mid lane. Another team fight. Get Baron buff. Like, that's how fast the game can just sling right into your position.
And look at the gold lead. I mean, that hurts. That's a Mount Everest of a lead for Vici. Literally Mount Everest. Oh, look at that steep climb. We've made it to the summit, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, what's happening? Oh no, we're falling back down the other side. Oh no. We actually ended up losing a little bit of gold at the end.
Is that what happens if you fall off Mount Everest?
I hope you just lose gold.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, that's... Why would anyone climb Mount Everest?
Something worth gold will be lost at the end of the day when you fall off that mountain. And I think that's what Vici Gaming also found out. I think Vici Gaming at the end of this one was just very sad. The fact that the composition... I think it's still a good thing to test, though. Just putting out there. Jayce, Kennen, like all of these meta top lane picks, they're meta for a reason. They have great control in the lane. And a lot of it comes into the ownership of the team being clean enough to finish off with those leads, right? And they showcased that they can do that in Game 1. Of course, they're going to be able to still do that in Game 2. I think it's still for me, impressive for Vici Gaming to be that close to being able to end the game in a fairly convincing fashion. Just off of a few mistakes and everything falls to pieces, but I still think that it was still well done. Going to game 3, I favor Vici, but OMG, if they can continue to find those mistakes, then yeah, I mean, it's anyone's ball game. You're in a game 3 situation. Literally, it's just like that one game and that's it. So OMG coming after that game, team fight, right? Like, that's literally what it is. You don't have to change anything in that aspect. Vici Gaming are saying that we can make mistakes and we're going to continue to go for these like top lane carries. So we'll see what ends up happening. I'm really excited for this one.
Both teams just kind of pressure testing, seeing how well they can do. You know, it's like, all right, Vici, we're gonna try the early game a little bit. We're gonna have a riskier composition. We're not gonna have that insurance. They should have bought insurance, as it turns out. But live and learn. In this case, they only lost 1 game. Unlike when you fall off Mount Everest, you don't get a redo.
That's fair.
So Vici get a redo for this one, but OMG, like you said, they found the 1 win button. It's like, okay, guys, just tape down your R key, and you win a fight.
Oh my god!
Can you do that?
I hope that's not the takeaway, but I will say, like, for me, my takeaway is just exceptional talent coming out of Puff. I think Puff, even though after they lost, he just had some great heroic Ezreal performances there. In the team fight that they actually just lost, he ended up turning it based off his stopwatch, turning on towards the AD carry and the jungler. So great job towards him. We'll end up seeing what happens and going to game 3.
Yep. Vici gonna look towards that game 3 win after an impressive loss in game number 2, but OMG might have another surprise in store. We're gonna find out in a few.
还是控龙了。
技能这里3的话有大招的，
墨
这波
云大招马上好了，这波有危险。
这波龙如果被抢了的话，
哎，完了，左一炮，把龙给拿了。这里卡上他们进场，船长也被秒掉了。被抢了就疯了，被抢了就疯了。过关呐，这里要进场了，龙门进场要收割了。
哎，这什么？
哇，他这个白盾蓝盾加起来。 有1000多血啊！
哇，这个天外飞仙，
盾给错了，但是看着这个盾也很肉。
没拉住小扎克，怎么办？交出了闪现，
这波很危险，很危险。我好，这里差一点点，结果自动把用火箭打掉了。
大招盖了后排，但是没有用。但是
队友能跟上吗？龙魂来了，龙魂来了！这边需要先拿对方的辅助，哈姆完了，这边超神了，这个飞起来了，太夸张了，这个 AOE，BLG 功亏一篑。
Quadra kill，
太可怕了！奥恩没大，
这边宝蓝在旁边阴着。
Rookie 跟宝蓝，
哎，这一波很重要。
Rookie 们宝蓝的位置很刁钻，
他们找阴的人在哪里？
要
找到了，
飞机
抢到了。
但这波的话，安吉开的还不错。这列拉我差点被秒掉，飞机还行，飞机也还活着。
卡姆这里是吃掉了一个克雷拉，
哦呦，这波Rookie又要开，斯科的差一环，差点被秒掉。但是泥王也被杀了。 艾博跟斯高特活了下来，
这波追不上了。谁能想到斯高特的一发导弹抢到了大龙？
哎，他们这个进化也是蛮弱。
这波开了闪现，
开了一下，但斯高特没有被踢回来，这边拉了一个杰斯，杰斯没谁的，现在被秒。
哎，怎么没有换？没有换掉，
没有倒地，斯高特有双招的，杰斯已经阵亡，就会把表金身交给了自己。艾博在大龙坑被大龙喷，这边的话，
能不能拯救队伍来了？
打了3个人，这一波利索罗很重要。这边闪现过来，这个拉五要收到奇迹了吗？1000的场地
出现了，
这个拉五拿到这个3杀，艾金把握住了1%的机会。 这一波对于安吉来说很难扛，他们的开团点 ，Rookie 倒地了，
又是一个
羊，小壮子站，那这样被秒了，闪现拉，哎，被计划解了，计划解了，但是飞机还是没管，再来传一能不能打起来？别了，我计划再输长良被秒了，斯高的也是差1丝血，一对1来，哎呦，好，这边奥恩是走了2个人，这个拉我还输入，这个拉一直是发现，那关起来，背后这边还几个盾，